Good to be back. So today we are again working on Holdout Extreme, or Extremis as Mike suggested we call it yesterday. Holdout Extremis. Yesterday we managed to get quite a few things done, particularly the what do you call them? I prevented the lanes from cutting into the caverns. As such, I think I'm going to add a few more of these insane ones about. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Yeah, the stream's only just started. You are indeed the first. So I'll probably add a few more of these insane cavern gen points. So from 23 onwards, just basically to allow me to fill out some of the really external areas, because we can. Basically, there can be caverns cut through there. There can be paths cut through there, but because of the work we did yesterday, it will no longer affect the generated stuff here. So we can just move that slightly over this way. Move that around. Okay, right, let's, what would I say, 23 onwards? I think it was probably 23 onwards. I'll have a look in the second stream you've caught. Nice, well done. We're going to work on this a bit today. I might also work at setting up some of the menus, but we'll see. We'll see if we get that far. And we're also going to look into like a menu highlight for new features when a patch comes out. So I don't know whether we'll get that far on stream, but we shall see. We'll come back to this in a second. That's mostly what we're going to be doing today, is balancing this level. So it should be quite a fun stream. Lots of playtesting. Okay, so this is the insane points. It stops at 23, so 24 onwards, actually. There we go. Two, three, four. I love connecting wires. I love it. Okay, that should do us for that. I am good today. My daughter's sleeping well at the moment, so any night when my daughter sleeps well is a good day for me. Okay, so if I run that now, that will probably, what we should see is that in some of the areas where the tunnels connect, in the middle of them, there should be some caverns. Not necessarily because it's randomized, but there can be some caverns, should we say. Okay, so there's an example of one. So yeah, a cavern that's stayed away from the route of the tunnel. And down here as well, there's the tunnel routes. There's a couple of caverns in between. Okay, that's cool. Ah, welcome, the crazed scientist. Are you the are you the scientist in the campaign? The male scientist? Right. Okay, so that's worked fine. Next, we're going to be looking at the perhaps. Next, we're going to be looking at the waves. So I believe we got as far as looking at wave 10 yesterday, although I'm not sure if we had the balance quite right. We ran into issues with... Oh, okay. There's something I need to do with this level. With the tile grid. Because we had the pathing issues, and I followed it up with Liam, and he thinks the data on the... Because the tile grids are meant to... the tile grids are meant to... like pre-work some data. However, and it should be fine, but for levels that were set up before he added in the new pathing stuff, they need a tick box ticked. I can't remember what it is. Definitely not Hivebot. Won't be colony status. Won't be anything to do with jobs. Oh, tile generation maybe? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Okay, did you see that? Okay, so these it thinks are not dug out. And those, I'm not sure what it thinks those are. I think it thinks they're dug out when they're not. So if I hit set up tile block status, press that again, there we are, no issues. Okay, so hopefully that will have solved the pathing issue. You're right, Jason. Hi, Bactane. Good to have you back with us. Jaso's one of my Destiny people. He wants me raid ready. Yeah, don't worry. We haven't got too far yet. So today we're working on Holdout Extreme again, and I'm going to be going through the actual creature spawns, so the various waves that attack the player during the level. We hit some bugs yesterday which prevented us from testing properly. We sort of balanced up to wave 10. However, we couldn't actually properly test it because of the movement bug that we got. That should be solved now. So let's do a test. Okay, so I don't want to buy anything, do I? I think I'm just going to build black ants, even though I've got something else unlocked. I want kind of the vanilla feel to the level. Cheers, Jaso. See you later. I think phones have made toilet visits longer. Certainly work toilet visits. Maybe not at home, but at work. I was reading an article, one of these fluff post articles that you get. I think it was a BBC one. But it was how many people use their phone whilst on the toilet. And apparently the number's really high, even though we don't all admit it. You know what they should start doing in public toilets is next to the toilet paper having phone screen wipes. No comment. Speak to my lawyer. Yeah, I can get one more tunnel before the attack comes in. Shy Gamer, hi. How's it going with the free play update? Um, I haven't actually touched that in ages because I believe it's done. That that aspect of it I did quite a while ago. Then I started work on the monthly levels. However, during the time period, we decided to do the movement code. So it's really the movement code that is the bottleneck. Uh, Liam's working on the movement code. It is taking longer than he'd hoped. I think we've just about reached the 3 month time limit that we gave ourselves to do it. So it should be coming pretty soon. I mean, he was hoping yesterday to be able to get them to the surface. I think today we'll hopefully be looking at... Not today. Soon we'll hopefully be looking at... Oh God, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate at the minute. Yeah, today hopefully we'll be looking at some surface movement working in some respect, because up until now, when they get to the surface, everything's just kind of broken. Huh. No path, no path. Okay, pause. Right. Right, I'm going to send a screenshot of this to Liam. One sec, people. I can't wait to have played the former carrying levels so much. I love how the fungus gardens work. Works really great. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that, with how that mechanic went down. It actually was better than I expected. Something I really like about it as well is the way the leaf harvesting works. Like, because it's built into the current game mechanics. So you place a marker down in the area. Oh dear, this could get bad. You place a marker down in the area, and then they climb up the plant themselves. It seemed to work so neatly within the current game mechanics. I think that's how we need to try and do things going forward, rather than introducing new... oh, this is not good. Hang on, I've killed the melee one, so this will probably be alright. rather than trying to introduce new mechanics into the game, well, not newer control methods into the game, try and keep things as tight to what we've currently got as possible. I just think it works better that way. Plays out smoother. Oh, sugar. I forgot that this one comes in from a random location. Well, we'll see. This is last time I was killed here by the pathing issue. So basically, too many of my ants pathed away. However, this is looking promising. Although the time I've got before the next wave comes in is not great. We got them trapped in here. He says as they sprint off. With I was talking about the Titan system yesterday. Okay, that worked well. And that's going to be kind of along the same lines. Oh, for goodness sake. Those things are so annoying. Right, so something spawned. Okay. It's 5 mole crickets. They're going to take ages to get here, so there's probably enough time to take these out. So basically, you kill an enemy. Not kill an enemy. You place a marker down next to one of these Titan enemies, and they should try and climb onto it. And the advantage of climbing onto... Oh, I need to get back. Oh dear. This might have not gone well. I'll turn combat off in the worker group so I don't lose them all. The advantage of having enemies on the target is you can get more into attack. So you'll be able to climb up their legs and things and have... And the ones that are on the back of the enemy, they won't be disturbed. I think... And the way we're going to handle fighting things on its back is... Titan's backs is... if there's no enemy within range for the enemy to attack, and you've got creatures on the Titan's back, they flinch and knock off any creatures that are on the back. So basically, you can only be on the back of the Titan. Oh god, this isn't going well. I've hardly built any more creatures in ages. Okay, so my feeling of this wave and the previous spindly leg thing, or harvestman, is that there's too many of them. Not because they're too difficult to take out. Well, this one might be because it's too difficult to take out, but it's because they keep running away, so it extends the length of the wave. So I think we've hit the point where I need to make it a bit easier, certainly for normal mode. When you have a big army on them, they all go on plant at once. It's just great. Yeah. It'll be the system for the Titans is going to be similar, only you're going to only it'll be a moving creature, so you have to get to its appendages. So I think that's how Matt's doing it. Is you have to like get, for example, if the whip spider was a Titan, I think he's turning that into a Titan. then you'll get to its legs and climb up its legs, and some creatures will stop at the ankles, some will stop where the legs connect, some will maybe go for the eyes. Harvestmen are weak, but it takes too much time to kill them. Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm going to reduce the number that's coming in from the 2 harvestmen spawns. So reduce that 1 to 3, and this one down to 3 as well. I think that's probably enough. I want to be able to get to wave 10 with just black ants. Once I can do that, we'll balance the next set. I might slightly nerf the wood ants as well. Maybe I'll give them only 3 melee ones, because that was a bit tricky. The later waves I don't mind being quite tricky to deal with, but these early waves, I want people to feel like they can get past them. It's still a big area, so it keeps the ants stopping. Yeah, exactly. Particularly if there's multiple of them. So if there's like 5 big harvestmen, they can have a chain stun, so they're just constantly stunning your ants. I think it's going to be a Grandize that comes out first, which is the the one where you got to kill the big whip spider at the end of it. I think this one is likely to... It's either going to be second or third. I'm not sure whether... See, I might go for the surface one second. Okay, I need to concentrate. Let's use the stun at super mages. It's really hard to get through some of the stun creatures. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's one of the good uses for them. At the same time, if you got wood ants behind a line of other creatures, then the wood ants should be still fine firing in. Doesn't look like this time there's any that don't have enemies in. Oh, well, I've just made the first wave more difficult. Large creatures are not stunnable anyway. Yeah, the very large creatures aren't. A lot of the huge ones have stun resistance, which makes sense. You're not going to be able to stun something that's 10 times your size. But the stun is just an immunity. It's not a resistance. A lot of creatures have slow resistance, which actually just reduces the amount they're slowed. Often they've got really high slow resistance, so slows don't have much effect on them at all. But things like stun, the game has an immunity built in, not a resistance. I should be taking on another area of resources. I think this one's okay to take on as well. There's a couple down here that are doable. The ants must fight. Everyone grab the food quickly. Oh, this is the tunnel wave, isn't it? I think they're going to come across here. Don't think they'll go into that room. Memory serves. No, they're going into that room. Definitely going into that room. Oh, cheeky things. They just chipped away at the edge of my queen tile. That's mucked up my feng shui. AoE resist and ignore defense buff creatures in the future. Oh, you mean... Yeah. There's piercing creatures which ignores the resistances, ignores the venom and physical resistances. I think black ants have a minor improvement which has the piercing in. I think it's black ants. So essentially you can oh, this is the wood ant. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. I may have mucked that one up completely. If this is to be my end, then I would have it. Then I would make such an end as to be worthy of remembrance. That's alright. I think we got it. AoE resist is definitely something I want to get in, particularly with the fire ants coming in. Because how long do I have? 20 seconds. I'm not sure, you know. Oh, there's a good place to tunnel out to. I've got one level 3. Yeah. Like I say, particularly with the fire ants coming in, they yeah, go in there, go in there. Yes. That's it. Trap him, trap him, trap him. I'm So particularly with the fire ants coming in, I think they're going to need venom resistance, AoE resistance, because they're going to be vulnerable to it otherwise. Like really vulnerable to the extent where you're probably not going to want to use them because the Ubers all have AoE damage. Or maybe it's one way you can build them out or something. But I think if they did have AoE resistance, everyone would automatically go for that. So they may as well have it something built in. Problem with putting resistance to AoE in is that you completely remove the concept of countering large swarm armies. However, perhaps what's happened in the game is there's been too many AoE creatures put into the game. So at this point, it feels like you need you need to build your army to defend against AoE anyway. Is that right? Maybe some future Ubers shouldn't have a... Oh dear, I think I've lost. Quick, take the eggs, take the eggs. Survive! I probably should have met these in the corridor, I think. No, don't harvest food, for goodness sake. Save the queen. So I might, oh god. No, this is over. I might allow the player to unlock the queen's abilities, but make them really expensive. Okay, so I think reduce mole crickets by 1. I don't think I need to reduce them much because I think I did mess up there. But I will reduce them by 1. I haven't made it to wave 10 yet, so... So we're going to keep going. I do think there needs to be some thought. It's really the free play meta that we're talking about here with the AoE stuff. I don't think the AoE stuff matters so much in other modes. I mean, mortars. When do you get attacked by mortars? I guess here. Alright. Start building my black ants. Me black ants. Me girls up here. What do you think about the idea of having like, I suppose it's difficult. Thinking about sandbox changes, so changing the stats of creatures every now and then. I've been thinking about the mortars a bit, and I think I'd like to change up the way they work a little bit. glitching. It does free itself eventually, but that's an interesting glitch. I need to build some food stores. Yeah, the no path issue comes up every now and again. Something I've got to be aware of. I'll take it back to Liam because he's the one working on it. Oh, look at this. Loads of ants doing nothing. Okay. Well, this is definitely something odd going on. Let me just try. Oh well. I suspect they'll sort themselves out eventually. See, is it this one particularly is having issues? I'm going to turn combat off on my workers. Oh, there we are. It's finally unlocked. I did have a question or request about free play. Is there a way to change the save mid-game? So, for example, if I begin a map with nest invasions off and later want to turn it on, do you know if I can change that? Be something you could add. I've actually heard that question before. Is that particularly desirable? Is it because you want to start a free play game? Is it because you want to start a free play game quiet and then start to make it more intense? What's your reasons for wanting that? Just out of interest. Before I have a think about ways that could be implemented. When you have too much food to spare in free play. So basically, you're having a mess about in free play, just doing free play without nest invasions on, and then you decide, right, I wanna put this colony to the test now. Now I've built this up. Is it that kind of thing? Oh no, they're opening up another route that I didn't want opened up. Like for now, with waves from the start, you can survive like 20 to 30 max for a general player. So you want to be able to turn waves on, for example. Okay, so balance-wise, I think in order to do that, what you want to do is make it so even if you did turn it on, it doesn't affect the score. So, you know, you get the score multipliers. I think it would only be sensible for the score multipliers. No, don't do it. It'd only be sensible for the score multipliers to apply at the beginning. So even if you did turn nest invasions on, it didn't suddenly give you a score or boost at the end. So that's balance-wise, because I think the score needs to represent the difficulty that you were playing it on from the start. There's kind of an issue with it in that I think nest invasions are turned off on a per pack of enemies basis, and they're dealt with currently when they spawn. So basically, when a pack of enemies first spawns, it sets up what it's called its swarm point, which the swarm point is an invisible thing that moves around that the enemies follow, like the pack of enemies follow. Now, what you could do if you turned it on is go through them and turn nest invasions on for all of them. That could potentially work. And then any future ones that come have got nest invasions, I guess you could do the same with off. So you could turn nest invasions off for all of them, I think. But there's swarm points are used in other things as well, so you don't want to accidentally, for example, turn a huge whip spider swarm point to be able to do a nest invasion. So there's plenty of stuff to consider there. And we'll go to the next wave. I'm alright at the minute. The next wave's not coming in super soon. Although I think we do need to harvest these resources down here. So I want to have some resources in the bag. Okay, so the next wave is coming now. The mole cricket, so that's the one that actually killed me last time. So let's see if I can get rid of these in time. I think this one's going to run off. Okay, go. Don't harvest. Fortunately, I haven't used the bottleneck there, but I think my army is significantly bigger than last time, so it shouldn't matter that much. I'm not sure I'm liking the randomized attack locations. So I might undo that. I might make it so the attacks come from specific locations. Okay, so a little bit of food there, some food there. So the next thing to consider, once we've decided on what we're going to allow it to do, the next thing we want to consider is these will run off as soon as I turn to attack them. Right, you guys go over here. I want combat off. You guys meet at the Queen. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. The next thing to consider is the interface. So how would you reactivate things? Maybe you could have an icon or a menu option during free play that just says, which just has a list of things you're allowed to turn on and off during gameplay. There's also this argument that I've been playing with in my head recently, which is curated versus I've mentioned this yesterday, which is curated versus allowing the player to set up their own difficulty. So the concept of a curated level or a curated free play setup is that we do it rather than... Oh god, they should be in that group now. This is going to be tough. To be fair, this round was always going to be tough. Sorry, I'm trying to talk whilst at the same time trying to play what has become a very difficult level. You'll notice now that I am not killing the waves by the time they get here. Certainly with these, trying to kill hermit crabs with black ants in a corridor like this, it's going to take forever. Oh, these might change things. Yeah, one of them got confused off, so that'll muck things up a bit. Nearly got a crab down. Nearly. So close. Yeah. One crab killed. There we are, and I'm about to die. Okay, so I got to wave 10. So I think in order to progress further than that, you'd have to unlock wood ants. Because basically the issue was that I couldn't get any damage in because it was such a thin corridor they were attacking through. Yeah, if just using black ants, you do need to focus on getting like a surround on them in order to achieve anything. God, that wave looks terrifying. So I think I'm gonna slightly reduce the size of the crab wave, probably just by 1. However, I'll class that as getting to wave 10, and we'll unlock the next creature, and we'll see how far we can get with another creature unlocked. Why have these ants so massive butts? Ants usually have massive butts, actually. It's one of their features. Okay, we're going to have to balance the rewards as well. So I think if the player manages to get to level 10, that should provide them with enough Wonga to beat to unlock the wood ants. Not sure how I want the rewards to play out, whether I want it to work on enemies killed or on wave reached. Problem is, oh, here comes the next wave. That looks like level 3 black ants and wood ants. I should probably stop the waves as well at that point. And this shouldn't be sharing Formicarian rewards. Okay, so I said reduce crabs. It's always wise to reduce your crabs. 5 or 4? I'll leave it at 5 for now. I'm not going to reduce the Devil's Coach Horse adults. I think with Wood Ants unlocked, we should be aiming to get to wave 20. So probably... a lot of them will have been level 3. No, they're not. We haven't changed the size of anything yet. Right, I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to get another coffee so I can deal with my throat. My throat's a bit sore. Right then. Right, good stream. Yes. Right. That's very. I left the chair in charge. Did the chair do anything interesting whilst I was gone? I got antiseptic lozenge thing. That should help my throat. Okay. So right now, I'm going to try unlocking the wood ants and see how far we get. So I'll go with rapid fire, just because I think mortar is going to be OP. OP. Still going to start with black ants. But I'll build much less of them this time. Rapid fire is the way to go. Jumping spider. I can't remember. I haven't looked. We'll see. A lot of the creatures from the game are in the level. I think probably most of them at some point in the waves. Okay. I think if I do make the rewards wave based rather than enemies killed based, which is probably more controllable actually. So I'll probably go that way. What I need to do is make sure that the wave's been killed before giving the end game reward. So, for example, hang on. Because then I can say if the player kills wave 10 in their first game, they will receive exactly the right amount of rewards to unlock the wood ant. Oh, I forgot I had the workers in that group. No, let's not go from there. So you probably receive rewards for killing a wave. Might even be able to do it something like it doubles each wave, the reward you get. So wave 1, maybe you get 1. Wave 2, you get 2. Wave 3, you get 4. Wave 5, you get 8. Wave 6, you get 16. Wave 7, you get 32. Wave 8, you get see if I can head these off at the pass. Charge! God, they always do that. They muck up my base. I need to turn combat off for those guys. Why you mess up my base? Right. Hopefully this is only a small pack, but I think there's actually a chance it's a big one. No, it's a small pack. All good. All good. Go kill. That seems like a lot of food for the early areas. Okay. Let's stop gathering black ants. It's time. Okay, gather up. Let's go. I actually had an opportunity there where I could have flanked them. Huh, you see that? Failed. I was talking earlier about reworking maybe the mortars. And I was... the AoE at the moment has to hit its target. It's a bit funny. But basically, if the AoE doesn't hit its target, it doesn't do any damage. So I was thinking, maybe making it so if the AoE hits the floor, it does its damage as well. So that would make them a lot more powerful, and when doing that, make their damage a lot less. So maybe half their damage, but make it so they can miss and still damage. So if they're firing into a big pack of enemies, it'll be better. However, they will be worse at single target killing, I think, because the damage is reduced in general. Okay, so I'm coming back to chat. How well fed they are IRL. But some have a social stomach. Yep. I just thought they were bigger in game. Now, no, there's not really been any butt changes going on here. Some ants have majors that even store food like honeypots. Oh yeah, the honeypots are huge engorged abdomens. They're very cool, the honeypot ants. Right. Okay, so we get into the danger zone now, so I'm going to try hard mode and probably go quiet. I don't want to engage the mole crickets in a closed area. I want to engage them in an open area, really. So I'll give them time to get closer. And now's a good time to hit them. Unfortunately, my ants will get down the corridor, so So we've got a good surround on them. I haven't built any wood ants. I forgot I was meant to be building wood ants this this game. Yeah. That's going to cause issues. Amount of resources as well. That's going to cause huge issues. I was about to say, if you hit a creature, it's 100% AoE. If you hit the floor, it's like 20%. I don't think it actually does any damage if you don't hit the creature, because the way the projectile... Oh, I've lost here. I've mugged up as well. This test is invalid because I didn't build any bloody wood ants. Never mind. So the way the projectile detection currently works is the projectiles... Hang on. I'm distracted again. They know the target that they're looking for, and they constantly do a distance check from themselves to that target. And if they're within the detonation radius, which isn't huge, then they blow up and deal damage. If they don't go near their target, they just hit the floor and fizzle out. And they never detonate. Oh. Oh, I see. So as a suggestion. I don't know. Not sure what would be good for the game. I know at the minute I think mortars are kind of necessary in the extreme parts of free play. I'm not sure I like that. Although, I mean, free play is getting a total mix-up. It's the way creature spawning in free play is going to work post the update. It's actually quite different. Fewer creatures spawn, but they have the ability to be stronger. So basically, at higher difficulties, rather than spawning more and more enemies, it'll actually just make the enemies that spawn a little bit stronger. Like, it'll tilt their stats a little bit. Oh, friendly fire. Huh. See, that would be a funny one. Like that's the negative of the mortars. Problem is then you'd need so I guess you'd need to back mortars up with leaf cutters. Something that had high health. Yeah, I don't think we'd go the route of friendly fire. I think. Oh. Oh. I think basically our game's too. You can't control it enough in order to make friendly fire work. It would just get frustrating, I think. Because you can't dodge things effectively. See if we can get this area done quickly before this attack comes in. I think it cuts through here. It goes up and then down again, I think. Maybe it's here. Yeah, it looks like it's here. Don't know whether the rapid fire ants are going to make this easier. Rapid fire again, aim at a specific target. It's exactly the same for rapid fire ants. If they don't hit the specified target, they miss completely. But rapid fire are much more likely to hit because the way the game's set up. Because the rapid fire projectiles are much more straight line. Yeah, they do. They do have their niches. Like here, that round was so much easier with wood ants. Then, just being able to get that damage in, so much quicker. Okay, so I need to take on some here. This'll do. There as well. Just gives me time. It just gives the player time enough to harvest. Okay, let's get in place. Yeah, look at that damage. So much better. And also we're constantly getting damage on it despite the fact that we're not right next to them. Here I'm right next to hit this, so I can cut out this hole as well. So with wood ants, I suspect I'll be able to get as far as. Right, I suspect I'll be able to breeze past wave 10, which is what I'm aiming at really here. And I basically want the each unlock you do to allow you to get a bit further. Hopefully, leaf cutters will allow you to get even further. Right. Run, run. Right, this is good. So it looks like a good spot for That was a rove beetle. That was actually an insane, a hard. Oh, sugar. Well, this is a bit messy. Let's get in there. The stun's even. These guys' stun is so big that it's even affecting all the wood ants. It's only a really brief stun, but it's enough to really disrupt it. Disrupt the attack. Now, thankfully, they seem to have ended up in a little pocket area where they haven't actually got very far. They can run. Okay, so I need to be thinking about what I can tunnel out next. This area looks promising, actually. And I'm right next to here, so I may as well do it. There's a load of resources I've never gathered there. Okay, I'm going to build some workers as well. So I've got a gathering force now because my soldiers haven't got time to do all the gathering. Right, gather as much as you can quickly. A thin corridor is probably actually good at the moment. It's what I need. Now I've got some wood ants. Okay, gathering force set up. Going to turn combat off for the gatherers. Gathering force. Ho! This is still not easy to punch through. Okay, I'm going to expand my wood ant army. I'm not going to bother expanding black ants just yet. You guys should not be gathering food. Let's meet again over here. Fortunately, I think that corner is going to cause issues. fair amount of food now. Oh, damn. Upgrade some food storage. It's not long till the next wave, and I've got loads of food down here I want to get gathered. I'd like to get my gathering ants down here, actually. Okay, food gather back on. Just gather it all. Okay, this wave's going to be tough. Oh my god, they're quick. So much for gathering it, eh? Oh, and that's going to cause huge amounts of damage. That's the bleed effect that they do. It's going to rip through my AoE one, my melee ones. Okay, I'm going to pull back a bit. I'm going to try and gather my forces together before we go in for another attack. You guys get in that group. Okay, forces gathered. Let's go. Oh, I can see the thorns kicking in. Oh boy, this might be the end. Yeah, this is the end. Okay, so I got 2 wave 10 there. So that was much better. So that's the thorns aura, the thorns effect there, but it's not. It only seems to show on the creatures themselves. Quite strange. Rip me. Okay, so what happened there? I think the cricket round is a bit too tough. Their AoE completely destroys black ants. You're gonna probably need leaf cutters before you can deal with that. I don't know, wave 11, it's probably too much. So I'm gonna quite substantially reduce the number that come in that wave. So what was it? Wave 10. I think I could have dealt with 6. So I'm going to put 6 in. Being able to harvest what I was getting, what the creatures I was killing as well, was a real trouble by the end. Alright, hello Valentine. Been a while. So I think I'm going to end stream at 1:30 UK time, so that's in 3/4 of an hour. Okay, so wave 10's reduced there. Because I think I'm gonna be getting onto these higher tiers now, I'm gonna go through to wave 20, and we're gonna be thinking about getting to wave 20 just about only with black ants and wood ants. Then on the final 10 waves to wave 30, I'm thinking should be able to do that with black ants, wood ants, and leaf cutters. And obviously there's extra creatures you can add into the mix there as well, but I don't think I'm going to balance it around those extra creatures. I think players can explore those themselves. Maybe one of them's completely up. Okay, so wave 11 is what? We got level 3 black ants. By the look of it, there's 12 of them. That's probably too much. So we'll go with 8. And level 1 wood ants. So I'll go with 8 of those as well. I think having 12 and 12 is probably too much at that point. Jumping spider. There we go. They'll be annoying. By this point, you can probably deal with 8 jumping spiders, but we'll see. Okay, wave 13. Right, 13 can be medium beach wolf spiders. Now, these hit quite hard. But they can definitely deal with more than 2 by this point. So I'm going to say 6. Wave 14. Currently it says beach tiger beetle small. They're easier than the medium beach wolf spiders. So I'm going to say 8. But we'll see. After that, I'm actually going to put in an annoying wave, which is going to be a praying mantis young. We'll go with, at this point, 10 of them, I guess. And then we'll go with medium hermit crabs. Now, this wave is going to be a slow one to deal with. So we'll go with 7 of those. Wave 18 looks like it's rove beetles. So 7 of those. Wave 19, trapjaw ants, 20 trapjaws, probably fine. And wave 20, rove beetle B, 10 of those. Which one's harder, rove beetle A or rove beetle B? Because I want to put them easiest one first. You don't know which one's which, do you? Neither do I. Tell me which. It's either the black. Try and describe which one's hardest whilst I look them up. A is the green one. Okay. B is blue. Which one's the harder one? Were they both about the same? I have to leave. I've got to go, but think about the comments about the friendly fire thing and also about the formic acid damage over time instead of instant as well. Can't wait for the fungus gardens in free play. Thanks for the stream, brother. No problem. Thanks very much for joining me, Shy Gamer. I'll see you later. There's only another 40 minutes left of the stream anyway. Have fun. It's a rove beetle A. Yeah, looks like you were right. It looks like it's the greeny one. A is way stronger. Okay, let's put B first then. Okay. Then we've got the army ant attack. Wave 21. Okay, so I'm not going to go any further than that. let's stick with this. Before I move on, I'm going to curate where the attacks come from. So I'm going to pick locations. Something else that we haven't done yet is open up another attack route. So by wave 20, there should probably be another attack route open. So I'll do that now. And then I think after wave 20, we're going to start attacks from two sides. So up to wave 20, attacks will only be coming from one location. But I think doing that will require a little bit more work on the wave spawner front. Open the window up because this room's getting a bit stuffy. Okay. Oh, that's noise. Sorry, there was someone having a conversation on their phone outside on loudspeaker. Rather than holding it to their ear, they're just yelling into it. Okay, so this looks like a good place to spawn some more. So wave 3 was the first tunneler wave. Okay, doing this is going to be a little bit annoying. Ah, hello, Pick of Death. Good to have you back with us. Okay, so 14 there. 15 there. 16 there. 17 there. 18 there. 19 there and 20 there. 21 there. 22. There's no way of shuffling down, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, so where was I spawning those tunnelers? Wave 14, wasn't it? Okay, so 20 tunnelers, tunneler route. Okay, so 1 is up top, 2 is bottom right, 3 is bottom right, 4 is bottom left. So it's going to be route 4, I think. We're going to open up route 4 at this point. Okay, spawn location. So is there a spawn location 0? I guess so. I guess there's a spawn location 0. So this is probably spawn location 2 I want them to spawn in. I think that's fine. So okay, so that should open up the next route. Okay, so now curating where the attacks come from. So I don't really want to randomize this. I think I want everything as unrandom as possible in this, removing RNG from the spawners. Okay, so 0 is spawning at the top, 1 is bottom right, 2 is bottom left. So after the tunnelers come, then we've got then the wave after the tunnelers, which is the wood ants, and that comes from there. Then the next wave after that is what? The small harvestmen. Okay, so let's make that come from 0. So the small harvestmen can come from the top. Then what? The mole crickets. Mole crickets can come from the tunnel. That's 1. The large harvestmen, they can come from the top again, I think. The minute I'm alternating. So they're coming from the top. Small hermit crabs, again from the... I'd rather they came from the tunnel because that's where they'd be hardest to deal with. And I'm evil. Devil's Coach Horse adults. I actually think I want them to come from the top. Okay, and then the Spiny Devils, they're also going to come from the top. So that's the first one that hasn't fit the pattern. So this is black ants and wood ants. I'm going to make them come from the corridor, that's fine. Jumping spiders can come from the top. Medium beech wolf spiders. They can come from the top. Tunnelers, doesn't matter. Okay, so immediately after the tunnelers, we have beech tiger beetle small. They should probably come from the new area, just to send something up the new area. PM young can come from the top. Medium hermit crabs. I'm going to send them down corridor 1 again. That's fine. Rove beetle B can come from corridor 2. Trapjaws can come from the top. Rove beetle A can come from corridor 1. That's fine. Army ants can come from the top. Okay, and we haven't thought about the next slot yet. Okay, so that's up to wave 20. We've curated the spawning locations now, rather than randomize them. Right, let's see how far we can get. Again, just using black ants and wood ants. Looks like the chap's finished his phone call, so I'll open my window up again. Okay, so here we go. So black ants and wood ants only. Trying to do what must be done. Okay. Looks like we actually had a good start here. We've got 3 easily clearable areas right next to our queen. Oh, first wave. It begins. This has actually been a very rapid start. I think by the time I get the the AoE cricket things, the spiny devils, I need to have upgraded black ants in order to deal with them. So I'm actually going to focus on upgrading the black ants first, rather than the wood ants. It's going to be tunnelers next. Here come the tunnelers. Okay. A couple of areas here I can break into. Ah, don't have any of my melee in place. Well, that went a bit wrong. It's alright, didn't get that wrong. Will you play the campaign in stream? Maybe find some bugs or balance. I have done a few times actually. It might not be a bad call, yeah. During the certainly during the beta test period. I'd like to get it to the point where our beta testers can play it as well before I go about trying to replay the campaign again. Our beta testers are brilliant. They'll find every little nook and cranny, every little thing. Beta tests are funny, really, because it's a time you want people to find flaws in your work. Obviously, when it goes live, you'd rather there were no flaws. But during beta test, you expect there to be flaws. Okay, I'm going to set up a gather group again. Do it sooner rather than later. Well, listen, our gather group's actually good to go, so let's I say leave them to it, but it's not gonna work. I want to fight these in the open space. I think I've got a reasonable fight area there. Beta tester was part of the Kickstarter actually, so it was only our very early backers that are part of the group, and I don't really want to expand the group too much more. Also, it wouldn't be fair on the Kickstarter people that did back it at beta if we brought people in. That said, I think the next update is actually going to be an open beta because it's a free play update and there's no story spoilers in it. I actually think it's going to be open beta, so I didn't even realise that was happening. So it should be available for everyone to help test. And the open beta will just be done through Steam. We'll just tell everyone an open beta password. Go on, trap him in there. Trap him in there. God, these are so annoying, these ones. And we'll be plenty noisy when we do go live with an open beta, so don't worry about that. I'll get it down quick. Okay, I'm going to enlist everyone to gather this stuff. So there's resources to gather down here as well, but well, these are the hermit crabs, aren't they? Okay, I'm going to open up this area. Basically, I want the fight to take place in a bit of a more open area. Yeah, that's perfect. I want to be able to nuke these as quick as possible. So I can get some more resources, so I can expand my forces for the next lot. It's kind of interesting, this actually. All the creatures seem to have spawned really close to creatures. All the caves seem to have spawned really close to me. Right, no combat for you. Go gather that. Okay. The next waves come in. Stop gathering. Leave it to the dedicated gathering group. For we have doubles coat shots adults to deal with. I think I'm going to drill through into these areas next. As soon as we dealt with these. Which doesn't like it's going to take long. Cool. Okay. Breaking through into these areas. Still got a while till the next wave, so I might just keep harvesting, keep tunneling out. Then I can leave my gather group to deal with it. Just keep pushing through. What have we got? Ah, the crickets, go, go, go. Nope. Ah, they got way too close to my queen then. I'm pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. Ah, look at the queen taking so much damage. No, 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 no. It's over. Ah, what a way to go. I didn't felt like I should have gone then. I got cocky. Unfortunately, that means that test's not a proper one. There's 10 minutes left of the session, so I can't do another proper test. What I might do though is I need to fix that. That's one of the things on my list. What I might do is reduce the crickets by 1 again. That wave is blooming tough. Because they come at you so quick as well. Valentin's insane strat. Let the enemy come to you. Don't dig out to. Alright, yeah. That's not a bad call. Yeah, don't extend yourself away from your queen too far. Anyway, so I've reduced that slightly, but only slightly. I haven't actually managed to get into testing this area yet, so I'm not going to make any changes to those. Okay, so with the last 10 minutes of the stream, I'll start looking into sorting out the purchase thing UI and see if we can put some other things into it. I can do level 1-1 and 1-2 on Insane. I actually think 1-2 Insane, if you know what you're doing, is probably the easiest. 1-1 on Insane, you've got to use some tricks. There's a few methods that work with it. What I like to do in 1-1 Insane is have 2 routes and kind of split the end packs. And then take out one whilst the other one's just walking a long way, then rush back and take out the other. And also you can send workers to harvest some of the ones that are killed. So yeah, I've done some of the levels on Insane, but I haven't done 2-1 or 2-2 on Insane. And I haven't done any of the Leafcutter ones on Insane. What I tend to do when balancing the level is I know my normal ability is to just about be able to do hard mode. So I balance the level around me being able to do hard mode just about, so I kind of win it, maybe half the time. And then on Insane mode, I just turn it up a notch, so I don't stand a chance. But basically, that tends to work out because people... Because it's balanced around hard mode and everything's just slightly increased from there. By slightly, it's actually a fairly significant jump between hard and Insane. It tends to work out that produces an Insane mode that is beatable, but very, very difficult. And a lot of the time, people come up with strategies which make things a little bit easier one way or the other to do it. So there's actually some really interesting strategies on some of the levels Insane modes that people use. Right, so as I said, I'm going to have a quick look at the UI. So at the minute, I just shove them in with very little thought. So size X, I'm going to make it a bit wider, so 700, 800 is probably fine. So position needs to be -400 then. Vertically, I want it quite a bit bigger vertically. So maybe 800 again. And then vertical position -400 again. So it's a square now. Okay. I'm assuming that's anchored. Where's that anchored to? Everything's anchored to the center of the screen. That's fine. So we'll get everything nice and consistent. See, there's some interesting ones here, like Wood Ant Soldier. I haven't tested. I don't think I'm going to balance around it. I'm just getting everything roughly in position at the minute. Let's stick to size 10 grid. Then I'll sort it out in a shortly. Okay. I'm probably gonna want lines separating so you can see which are what. Okay, so as such, let's think about the positioning. Some of these, so two will be a new type of creature. One will, space-wise, one will be a different option for that type of creature. So size X, 4, 5, minus 70. Yeah, that's bang in the middle. Unlock points. You know what? Rather than having that bang in the middle, I think what I might do is have that over the right and the unlock points over the left. Okay, that looks good. Right, I want a thin green line. So I can probably do this with a... I don't suppose there's something called a line. No. If I just have a quick nosy at this, see what's in it. Right, yeah, that's no good. What might work is the... I'm not sure. A quick look at the level. See if I can spot anything that would work graphically. Okay, I probably want to move that vertically up to kind of take it away from the bottom UI stuff. One of these bars would work as a divider. So let's Let's take a look. It's called Tug of War Widgets. It's a very old name for something. Okay. See, they've got these things. It's just an image. Let's bring that into my my widget, wherever that is. Paste one in. Transform. Pivot. I did nothing. Angle 90. God, that's not behaving how I expect it to. Let's make it 5. 750. That looks about right, I think. Annoyingly, it's curved at the edge. Yeah, that's not going to work. There'll be something somewhere in there. I reckon it's curved at the edge because, yeah, it connects with the one next to it. Yeah, I could do 2. It might work. Although it looks a bit funny at the end. No, I'm not going to do that. Right, border. Tint. Grey. Maybe I'll make it white and just alpha it. That might work. Width 750. Height 5. That's not what I wanted. Question is, does that work? Does that look good? It's kind of budged. I think this has got some sort of border on it. What is it? It is a border. Question is, does that actually exist, or is that just, it looks like it's just something to show me in the editor? Okay, so let's have a look at how that looks. This will probably be the end of the stream. Yeah, it's time. See, this gives me space to put the name of the creature and a couple more buttons to show ability unlocks you can do with those creatures. I think it looks good. It's obviously mispositioned. That's just because it's anchored off the wrong point. But I think it looks fine. There are. Anchor it from the center of the screen, like everything else. It should look fine. Yeah, I think that looks reasonable. So I have one of those there, and one there, and one there. That'll divide the areas. Okay. Right. Okay, so we've made some really good progress on this today. This is really close to being done. It just needs a few more balance playthroughs, and then that'll be the second. And we also need to update this and get in things like the queen abilities to unlock, other creature abilities to unlock. Then once that's all in place, we'll have the level done pretty much, ready to go out when we do get there. Okay, thanks for joining me. I've enjoyed this stream. I'll see you again next week at the usual time. But yeah, until then, take care, and I shall see you later. Thanks for joining me.